Health Link, a project of Centerlink, the community of LGBT centers. And I'm here to tell you everything you wanted to know about LGBT health and wellness over the last week in 3 minutes or less. So let's get right to it. In our first story, congratulations to Aetna. They've announced they will cover gender confirmation surgery for federal workers on their health plans, and will soon roll out that same coverage to consumer plans as well. So if you've got a choice in the upcoming open enrollment season, keep that word Aetna in mind. In our next big story, the Department of Health and Human Services has relaunched their LGBT health web portal and released their annual report on advancements in LGBT health. There's a lot of great information in there, too much for us to cover, but includes things like CDC's inclusion of a gay ad in last year's Tips from Former Smokers campaign. Good job to the feds. Our next story, this is Trans Awareness Month. A carrot to Scotland trans advocates who are pushing for legal recognition of a third gender category, and to Fenway Health for their great infographics showing things like the fact that 65% of trans people experienced discrimination in the last year. Conversely, a stick to right-wing Virginia mass resistance who's trying to out Virginia's top doctor as trans. They're putting a lot of effort into it, but we think you might have misunderstood the intent of Trans Awareness Month. In our next story, new research demonstrates that there's a link between academic achievement among LGBT students and how accepting the climate is on their high school campuses. Kudos also in other campus news to Louisiana State University. Their new program, Chroma, is offering support and community to queer students of color. Great job. Next up, data from the National Survey of Fertility Barriers found that 3/4 of lesbian and bi women wanted children. Unlike heterosexual women, 1/3 of those women didn't think it was important to carry the child. While heterosexual barriers to having children were often biomedical, lesbian and bi barriers were often societal. Next story, new research shows that African American non-Hispanic lesbians and bisexual women have lower fruit and vegetable intake and physical activity levels, while they have higher body mass index and history of diabetes or hypertension as compared to their white counterparts. Researchers found stigma and internalized sexism were partly to blame. And in our last story, 2 national bathhouse chains are now offering free HIV testing kits via vending machines. Also, research has shown that gay and bi men in regions that are more homophobic have limited access to HIV prevention. That's it. That's your LGBT health and wellness roundup for this week. Thank you very much for watching. Please come back next week, same time, same place. Thanks also to our researcher, Michael Baer. If you like it, share it. We'll see you next week.